There's the most important spec you've never heard of. It's not on any spec sheet. You can't count it. Do math jabrones. I found the most important spec, and we will explore it today.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Canon R5 II. I just bought the regular EF to RF adapter. We're on the 24mm 1.4. Forgot my tripod, so it's a little heavy and it's a little close. I apologize about that. We're wide open. That's not good, but this is probably frowned upon. I'll be thrown out of here immediately, but the most important spec. Don't you dare click off as soon as I say it, saying, oh, that was bullshit. You clickbaiting asshole. It's the feel. You have to feel at home with your system. And this has been the real search for the perfect camera. It doesn't matter. Every camera on paper is perfect. You think I need an R5 II? Are you joking? Of course not. Oh my God, I almost decapitated her. She became Tone in the night. Oh, that didn't even hit me. It was behind, oh God. So I think this is where I struggle the most when trying to decide my perfect system. The one I feel at home with. I don't feel at home with certain companies like Nikon. I can't get with you. There's something off with your menu system and just the feel of it in general. Although I prefer the Nikon image maybe. I don't know. The one I feel at home with most is actually Sony, but then I'm disgusted by the whole clinical alien look of it. It's too sharp, it's too perfect, it's too digital. But that's the one I feel most comfortable using, ironically. Most photographers are like, Sony ergonomics, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm at 5600 Kelvin in a mall. That could be good. I remember in Thailand, touching the Fuji X-T3, I think, was just announced. And I felt it and I was like, oh my God, this feels so right. I love using Fuji cameras. You got 7 different custom modes. You can change settings and they save if you want. You can turn that off. And so it's always the same. I love that it updates. Oh, I'm going to change this white balance to 5600 always, and then I don't have to re-save the thing. Some won't even let you do it. I'll tell you that much. And some don't let you change from aperture priority, wrong way on that one, to manual in your custom mode. Once you save it, you're set for life. What the hell bullshit is that? This might be one of them. Nikon's one. I think Sony's one. I don't like that. In Canon, I'm a little worried for wildlife that I'm not going to be able to just tweak the little manual focus wheel and then it starts doing that. Nikon, it's like you're autofocusing and then, no, I'm taking over. You just turn the wheel and it starts doing that. And then back button focus to go back into bullshit autofocus. Don't quote me on it, but I think Canon you have to hold a button. I'm waiting anytime. You have to hold a button to be manually focusing. I don't know, I haven't fully explored it yet, but it's going to be something awkward in the winter with gloves. You're trying to ask me to do that? I don't know, man. So it's like, what do you feel most comfortable with using the camera? That's the most important thing. Security guard, let me vlog. Oh, you're getting fired tonight. He's tunning now. The world will forget you. Oh, wow. So I'm still feeling my way around, just selling things off, trying new systems. I've tried them all. I don't know. I feel most at home with Sony, Canon, Fuji. Not Canon. Why did I mention that? I'm just saying words. I used to force people and run really fast, and then they would look back and be like, what the hell? I was an asshole. Look at the 3D pop. We're in digital stave now. So ask yourself, what feels best? What do you feel most comfortable with? And it's the main spec for me. It's annoying to shoot on certain systems, even though their specs might even be better. It's weird. So Sony, I'm at home. Fuji, I could do a whole Sony Fuji. Boom. That might be us one day. But Canon's good with the touchscreen stuff. It seems very simple. Not a touchy action over there. I'm debating a lens right now. I'm just throwing this out there. The RF, 28mm Tony 2.8, potentially the only RF lens with 3D pop. It could have some. It's 8 elements in a couple groups. No ED glass. It's tiny and light. With this, you'd need a tripod. It's not great, but the one reason I love that focal length is because you could vlog with it handheld on a long tripod. It would look nice. And then without that, slow motion street videography with 28 mil is quite good. Whereas like if you're ultra goofy wide 15 mil, that ain't gonna do it for the street. It's gonna be all weird. You're not like purposefully getting someone. It's just like wide action goofy clowns in your city. If you don't know which camera system feels the best for you, think the opposite. Which brings me less shame to own? If it was me, like maybe you love cheap third-party lenses, Sigma and Tamron, and Canon doesn't allow that, and you're like, oh my god, I can't support that. So like Canon brings your family shame. For me, like slow motion not having autofocus, Panasonic brings me shame. And the Micro Four Third size sense, ow, that's shameless. Shameful. Maybe disgusting Sony color science doesn't bring you shame because you love color grading and that inspires you. It's like, that's the blank slate. Sony's the best for color graders and you don't feel the shame. And Fuji autofocus, I have cinema manual lenses, man. Who uses autofocus now? Fuji has the best look. APS-C extra hands, come on. So it's like, someone brings you shame. Olympus, not enough sushi comes with their cameras. You know that. Now, don't get me wrong here. The feel is important, but if your specs lack and fall off a cliff, like most specs nowadays, like good enough 4K 8-bit is fine, but if you're lacking in slow motion specs, don't even look in my direction. We all use cameras in very different ways. Maybe you change white balance all the time and that's your thing, and you have a custom gray card in your pocket and your pants are gray just for that purpose, and that's your main thing. Then Canon would suck for you. Can you believe we're still doing that custom white balance where you have to take a picture, switch into picture mode for your video white balance? What the hell is that? I can't believe we're still doing that. And you're hard to edit files unless you have a Mac Mini 1. I refuse to do it. There's the Apple sheep store. Usually they have security guards. That's like an actual policeman. That's a man of the police. Let's go interview him on why he's a Mac sheep. Oh no, he senses me. I'm not gonna do it. No. I want the M1 Air. Pick your poison. They're all poisonous, but they all have their merits. Not Canon in particularly, but at least we don't have the speed booster now. Hopefully this looks better than the damn speed booster I've been recording on. So now that we have this adapter, I can also do C70. What's that like? Speed booster versus all these lenses without it. Might be sharper and better. This 24 becomes a 35, the 85, 112 mils if it was a foot. So not bad. Not bad R5 II. This is heavy. I'm gonna leave now. What do you think? What do you feel most comfortable with? I almost said which. I'll leave on a high note after Bitcoin gets donated. Subscribe to my announcement.